Then we move to Laon Cathedral, and many of these cathedrals are named after the city they're in. In this case, this is actually Notre Dame, dedicated to the Virgin Mary. And as I've covered before, Notre Dame would be an incredibly common name. That's why we're calling them after the cities. And Laon is famous for a couple of things. One of the most interesting is the fact that, yes, you're seeing oxen on the bell towers. The oxen are there because at Laon, this is the first time that we have a crane run by oxen. Basically, what they used to have is a giant sort of hamster wheel to run things up and down, but you would have people in it. Here, they use oxen around a wheel that kind of runs in a circle, although they can only go one direction. So to bring things back down, you actually have to turn the oxen around and then go back the other way. It won't be until the Renaissance that they actually come up with a crane that is geared so that you can just make a couple of quick adjustments and suddenly the whole thing reverses. But let's get on to the cathedral, the great Cathedral of Cows. And Laon is interesting. We have 3 portals, 3 entrances, which is extremely common for Gothic cathedrals, deeper portals than what we've seen before. We have a rose window in the center with 2 identical towers. And we have this very staggering appearance, and this is supposed to be a cathedral that's going to be more cavernous than anything we've seen previously. Now, as we move inside, you'll notice we have a more narrow nave. The walls are moving in as the roof is moving up. And there's a reason to this. Basically, the idea is the narrower you make the nave, the taller it appears, the more verticality you get out of it. We also have alternating compound piers, which we see here, where we have some of the arches from the rib vault coming all the way down the wall. But every other one has more. That's because it has the crossing arch moving across the ceiling added to it. So we have more apparent columns there. We have pointed arches, very, very common for a Gothic cathedral, and we have a 6-part vault. So basically what we have is a vault where there's an arch running through the center of it, which you can see over here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts in each bay. Again, this is experimentation. So they're playing with these ideas, trying to figure out what's going to be stronger, what allows for more height, etc. We also see a 4-part elevation. So classically, what we have is an aisle, a gallery, and a clerestory. But at Laon, they include something called a triforum. And the triforum is where the roof comes down over the side aisles. You can see that here. So it is necessary, and it gives it a little more height, although it's not a feature we're going to see frequently. When we look at the actual floor plan, you'll notice there are transepts, but they're very, very short. And the east end, where normally we would see an apse or multiple apses in the choir, is actually flat, which is interesting. It's a little bit different. You also see here some of the work that's been done, the various changes that have taken place over time. These cathedrals are constantly being built and rebuilt. But this flat east end will give a more English appearance, and it speaks to the fact that they're still experimenting, not just with the construction techniques, but with the form of the cathedral itself. They want to play with new ideas. These are all new ideas to them.